Well, congratulations to the class of 2011. It is truly an honor to be here today. Michigan is a special place to me. And when you think about making a commencement address, you have two choices. You can talk about major issues, or you can talk about your life and personal issues. Today, I'm going to talk about my personal experience at the University of Michigan and deal with a question I'd like to share with you. Is what is the University of Michigan the world's leader at, and what it means to all of us and about all of us? To begin, this is just a personal opinion, so I would make that clear. But let me start with my experience as a student at the University of Michigan. I'd only had one other opportunity to come to the University of Michigan for a football game when I was 7 or 8 years old. The next time I came was Thanksgiving week of 1975. I came up to go to the Office of Admissions and to tell my story. I had a meeting with the Associate Director, a gentleman named Lance Erickson, and told him my story about growing up in a small town, Battle Creek, in a 900-foot square house, having the opportunity to start community college, though, when I was 16 years old, and the dreams I had for my future. In that meeting, he looked at me and he said, "You need to start at the University of Michigan in January. You should leave high school and come here. And in fact, we have the perfect degree to fit your dream, the Bachelor's of General Studies degree, because you can build your own degree." Well, I went back to my parents. We were all amazed and surprised, and it was time to go to the University of Michigan. So I showed up in January of 1976 at the University of Michigan. And to put it in perspective for you, I would probably be at the far end of being the least worldly person to show up at the University of Michigan. I had fabulous parents, but I didn't have a lot of opportunity. And to give you a point of reference, the first week I was there, a number of my friends that I had met said, "Let's go get a Fraggle." So we went to the bagel factory, and I had my first Fraggle. Now, the most amazing part of that I was too embarrassed to share with my friends is I had never had a bagel. I didn't know what a bagel was. And then the next step was the rooming situation. I had a triple in West Quad. And as a disclaimer, I'll remind you this was 1976, so the university people will still talk to me after this speech. I had two roommates. One was a junior, and within a month after the start of the term, he managed to get himself kicked out of university housing for a lack of social and moral behavior. And that's the nice way to put it, folks. The other roommate was a freshman who was studying engineering, but I'm convinced he only made it through the first year because engineering was not his passion and love. His true passion and love was botany. And I believe that was based on the fact he had a significant plantation in our room. And so you can see this green kid from Battle Creek who hadn't even turned 18 yet, had these two wonderful roommates. I almost didn't make it. But one thing that helped me make it was one thing that you'd only find at the University of Michigan. Actually, I had a work-study opportunity and I found a job. And that job was at the Institute of Social Research. And actually, it was a job for a graduate student to do research that somehow I managed to get. And it was because of the people at that institute working on the survey of consumer confidence that gave me the fortitude and dedication to survive that first semester. And I got through it. From there, it was a much more positive experience. My years were amazing. I had opportunities to do things that you couldn't do at other schools, to get those 3 degrees. But during the path of those 3 degrees, I had a chance to be a research assistant, in government accounting, SEC accounting with a Professor Earl Keller. I had an opportunity to do a research project that actually became an article that I co-authored with Herb Hildebrand, one of the great business communications professors at the university. The funny part was, though, when I told my parents I authored an article, it was something they couldn't really read because it was in that bestseller, the Journal of Business Communications. Other experiences, though, were part of growth, too. As I recognized, I wanted to learn from people and do more with people. So literally, I became a resident advisor in Bursley. And I had a freshman floor that was a lot of fun, and that was quite an experience. Also, I had the opportunity to be an instructor in the business school and a TA. I literally had my own class. I don't think they do this anymore, but when I got the position of instructor, all they did was hand me the textbook saying, the class starts in a couple months. Good luck. But I got through those experiences and they helped me grow. They were fabulous experiences. And by the time I got to my last year at the university, I was living off campus, I was teaching, I had a blue lot parking pass. I had a private school in the business, a private office in the business school, although not near as nice or near as orange as today. And best of all, and hopefully this won't get me in trouble, I had tickets on the 50-yard line back then. The students used to go to the 50, folks, back in those days. I'm still trying to achieve seats as good as when I had those seats back in the early 80s. So it was a fabulous experience of growth. And so let me give you my view of what the U of M is the world's leader at, based on that experience and many since then. First of all, the U of M is ranked high in more departments than probably any other institution in the world. There is an issue, though, that we don't rank #1 that often. We are probably by far the best #2 school on all those ratings of any place in the world. Now, usually the criticism is, and the reason we're not #1 when you go behind the ratings, is because they'll say we're too big, we're too large. We don't have that different degree of attention that the small exclusive schools offer. Well, what I would say to you is too often we spend time trying to say how we can be like them and somewhat being apologetic for that fact. And that is absolutely backward. The U of M, the true uniqueness here, is the intersection among being the best in the world in so many fields while having an environment where you can build your own path through so many of them. Our strength is our breadth and size. We need to stop being defensive about our size and start being proud of it. The simple answer for the University of Michigan about what we're best at is we're the University of Explorers. If you look up the definition of explorer, it's someone who travels into unfamiliar or unknown regions, especially for organized scientific purposes. I believe that's what drew us here. There is no place in the world that can match the University of Michigan. It is that spirit of exploration that brought us here. We need to start promoting our size and breadth as a power why we still continue to be the best in individual departments and that great student experience. Let's be proud of our size and be the best. Now, in terms of individuals, I would like to now speak to the graduates about what that means to you and the opportunities you have. You are explorers. And when you've been exploring at the University of Michigan, it was straightforward. Your mission was to graduate, and you've achieved that fabulous goal today. But the next thing is you need a mission for the future. An explorer needs a mission. So the question is, what is the mission for your life? And the thing of that is there is no right or wrong answer. And there is no specific time you need to have that answer. Some may have it today, others may not find it for some years. There are triggers that will help you get there, and we have heard those stories many times. It can be your parents. It can be mentors in your life, and I had many fabulous mentors. It can be opportunities, but it can also be crisis that will give you a mission. So as you travel from this stadium, ask yourself, what is your mission? To put it in perspective, I had a mission that I'll share with you briefly. My mission, I was fortunate. I developed it when I was a teenager. My mission, in terms of the ultimate goal, is to make the world a better place and to say I added value. But in terms of specifics, I defined 3 careers that I wanted to experience during my lifetime. The first career was to go into the private sector, to go into business. And why did I choose that? There were 3 key goals. One, I wanted to financially be able to take care of my family and hopefully have the resources so I could go off and do other things. The second one was to help people, to say what products and services could add value. And the last one was to have fun. Because if you have fun at what you do and if you enjoy what you do, you're simply going to be better at it. That was to be from age 20-something up to 50 or so, or 60. The second career, though, was about public service. It was to drop the goal about making money and having financial security, and because I had achieved that, hopefully. And it was to focus on helping people and having fun. And I didn't know what that would be. So the opportunity arose to run for governor because we were a broken state, and there was an opportunity to reinvent our state. I thought I could work in a nonprofit. I thought I could do many things. But this opportunity was there, and so it's time to seize the opportunity as a way to give back to citizens of our state. Now, the having fun part isn't really true today. But what I say in that context, it's not about laughs, it's not about enjoyment while you have to make tough decisions. It's about saying, is there satisfaction in doing the right thing and hopefully making our state a better place? I have a third career that I plan to go after when I'm done with public service. And that's to teach, because I want to give back on a smaller scale as an opportunity to help people and to have fun. And to show I actually planned for this career from my teenage days. When I finished at the University of Michigan after I got my 3rd degree, actually I was asked to come back and teach. So when I was 24, I was an adjunct assistant professor teaching a class in the MBA program. And one reason I did that is, one, I love teaching. But the other part is I actually thought I could use that as a credential to prove to people when I was 60 I was competent to teach. Now, of this plan, this career plan, it's been fabulous. It is still very challenging, as you all know. But in terms of my mission, it's worked well, except I overlooked one major fact or facet of life when I did this career plan. It was the personal side of life. To be blunt, I was a workaholic. Many people still tell you or say or think I am, but it's nothing like I was when I finished school. And how did I solve that problem? Well, I got help. And the help I got was my fabulous wife, Sue. She showed me that there's more to life than simply working, and we've been happily married for over 20 years. Now, there's another wonderful part to that, is the 3 children we have, Jeff, Melissa, and Kelsey. Because one of the things is children in themselves is a special thing in your life that is more important than anything. But I can also tell you it helped put life in perspective more than anything, especially when they were young. Because I can tell you when you'd come home from work and you could say you had the best day or the worst day of your professional life. When you walk in that door, they didn't care. It was about them, and that was the right answer. And by having great kids like that, it made me a better person. And I'm proud to say Melissa is actually a sophomore here now. Now, in terms of summarizing this kind of analysis about being an explorer and a mission, the problem is when you give a commencement address, in my view, the average half-life of a commencement address is, in terms of retention, is typically days to a matter of hours. And we're in an increasingly ADD world. So I wanted to give you a phrase that really summarizes what I've talked about and how it relates to that phrase. Because it's a phrase I know you know so well, and you're going to remember the rest of your life with pride. The leaders and best. Now, the leaders part is easy. Just being here means you're an explorer. The key is finding that mission in life. Keep it simple, just set a few milestones. But to be a leader, it's a simple mathematical equation. Explorer plus mission equals leader. Now, the other part of the phrase is the challenging one, the best. And why do I say the best is the challenging part? Because too often the best is misunderstood. The best is not about having an attitude of superiority. It's not about being arrogant. What the best really means, in my view, is about giving your best, to give your best effort, and to do it in a certain way. And that's to do it in a positive fashion, a forward-looking fashion, and a fashion where you work to have people win together and to solve problems in the world. It's not about blame. It's not about credit. It's about giving your all and making a difference in people's lives. Because of the two phrases, what I can tell you is if you are a leader and you have a mission, don't worry about getting the mission entirely done. That may not be possible. But if you continue to give your best and try to make that happen, by giving your best, you will be a stalwart among the leaders and best. So take that into life. Congratulations to you. God bless, and go blue.